TORBY in that previous game. So Semantic this time is going to be the one championing Ashe. Pair that with a Max, and you're going to have a lot of mobility on a very tanky brawler who's quite strong.
Now, as they're switching between maps, between game modes, we see them do this often and all the time, but I do wonder, what is the mental switch kind of like? Do you ever see them get tripped up and maybe draft for the wrong map, the wrong mode?
I don't think so. We've seen a few.
These are professionals, folks. That was a silly question.
To be fair, we have seen a few mispresses here and there. Like, we'll be commenting on the draft, like, what's that pick? And then they'll come up to us afterwards and be like, yeah, my bad. This pick. Yeah.
A lot of
Didn't mean to play that
there.
brawler at all, and I'm sure it's happened to most of the players, if not in competitive, through scrims and stuff. There will have been some mispicks, but you know, in scrims you can kind of restart the lobby and go again. But in this, it's you'll be getting punished if you're doing that. But the rest of the draft coming through now, we have the Nita and the Crow picks from TORBY. More scouting on the Crow side of thing. You don't need that vision gear because that shot's going to linger and it's going to do a lot of work, especially with the hypercharge as well. Elevates Crow to that little higher level. Definitely a bit better in heist than it is in gem grab at the moment, but along with the Nita there with hypercharge, going to go a long way as well.
Yeah, one final lock in here, one final brawler for Humble, and there it is.
Looks like they've gone really good support brawler, aggro brawler, and then a good DPS frag option, and that just seems to be a textbook combination that they've done for all of these maps. On the other end, vision is clearly a focus, like you mentioned. You got Crow for the chip shots. And like you said, you might not even need a vision gear for that. I mean, Crow's shot is poisonous. It will linger. I think that maybe strayed away from some of these brawlers that can heal a little bit too. So they're not going to be as interested in things like a Byron or a Barry like you might see them pull off. But don't know if it's necessarily what they would have done with that combination. But I mean, this seems to be another Humble draft, and it's kind of up to TORBY to respond and finally put one on the board.
Historically here, Gemfort, Humble, no problems with this one.
I mean, they shouldn't, no team should really have an issue with the map pool, I feel, at the moment. If they're kind of in the top 8 of competitive in the EMEA region, I think they should all be adapted to the map. They're all going to be scrimming. They're all going to be coming into this year expecting to excel.
Yeah.
So they're just really getting it down, getting the synergy through with these, with the new rosters, for TORBY at least, Humble sticking the same. I think it's mostly about synergy at this point in the year and making sure that you're all playing the brawlers that you're comfortable on and want to be playing. And I think something that, I don't know if that's what TORBY have got down, if there's synergy issues or something, because the drafts, as I said, they're looking good to me.
Yeah, I would assume all these players, they're very well versed in the game modes, the maps themselves, but I do wonder, you know, individually or as the teams work together in this early stage for their synergy, that certain elements, certain game modes, certain features on the map might trip up certain players in certain ways. And we're studying players, we're watching you. But you're all doing very good, so round of applause to you. And taking a look in, just like to check in on our players really quick. So, you know, have you ever been there? Have you ever visited their houses?
No.
You ever done like a Room Raiders tour?
Yeah, we're not as fortunate as Ready Set. We've never hosted players in particular, but no, it's always an a little bit, and it's going to be a moment where they kind of have to make a little bit of a comeback here.
Yeah, we've got our two players all set, looking to make that comeback here for TORBY. That would be absolutely huge for them. But Humble, so impressive, so strong. So I do wonder now, as they've got these moments to kind of lull to think things over, will TORBY be able to find some edge that, wow, even we can't see here from our spectator positions on stage? Trev, you know, like, in all the games you've seen, in all the come-behinds, and all the run-backs, what has been the factor that has let the momentum switch to the other team?
I mean, literally it can be as easy as just getting one game on the board, and that can change things completely. If TORBY start to get their mentality in check, and you know, it's something that Rama's been faced with multiple times, but it's definitely something more difficult for the newcomers in Enraged, in Cappy. They haven't got, you know, the reps under the belt to be able to really dig deep and get that mentality corrected, to be able to reverse sweep a team, especially like Humble, who are, you know, world champions of 2024. When you're looking up a mountain as big as that, world champions, 2-0 down, it can be really tough to, you know, expect yourself to come out with a victory in 3 sets in a row.
Wow, I have good news for Humble then, and terrible news for TORBY. Momentum is in Humble's favor for this set. They did pick up at that first game, but we figured out just how that second goes. Let's take a look at the bracket and just show you the lay of the land as we're getting the start here today at our Champions Invitational. Humble and Torby facing off now, but much to come. Eternal Fire, Reply Totem, Leftovers Pirates, SK Gaming, and Kebab all the way through. Now, we did have predictions for who would win these individual matchups, but gentlemen, I don't think I've asked you who you think is going to make it all the way to the grand finals.
Ooh. Gut saying Humble SK. That's what I'm going to go with. Oh, look at that. Oh, they won. Good job.
Appreciate you letting us know, boss.
Thanks,
Appreciate
boss.
that.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Thanks. Oh, I'm just going to take a little note there. Congratulations. And as we're playing a best of 5, that's going to leave Humble victorious now. We took a look at that bracket, and yeah, you know exactly where they'll be moving into on that slot. But we didn't get to see a lot of the gameplay, so theater of the mind, imagination, paint me the picture. How did Humble do that based on everything you've seen them play?
It seemed quite fast,
Yeah,
right?
that's the first thing that
It
came to
seemed
mind,
quite
was
fast.
quick.
So I'm thinking maybe they just kind of walked over them, kept them in spawn. 10 gems to 3, something like that.
Oh.
Probably is how it will have ended, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. That felt pretty
Fast.
rapid. I mean, compared to Brawl Ball, you know, you can dump in a couple goals pretty quick, but Gym Grab, you have to at least wait for 10 gyms to spawn. That felt like a little bit of a speed run right there. I think if you're Torby, this was not the easiest luck of the draw. Obviously, you're playing the defending world champions, and yeah, they held up. They're still good in 2025.
And historically, like, if, you had to predict maybe that they got played through the rest of these maps here, would there be one that Torby would have a good shot of pulling through on?
I think there's a few games that would have been better suited for Torby, and I think definitely they shouldn't kind of put their heads down for the year to come, because they have just been paired against the toughest team in the world, never mind just in EMEA. So I don't think they should, discourage themselves for 2025 as a whole, considering they've just come here and been swept by, as I said, the best team.
Oh, absolutely. It's no shame here, and we're starting the year, but there's much, much left to be played. Gentlemen, any final thoughts on this matchup before we move on with the day?
No surprises so far. Like you said, I mean, kudos to Torby, at least in the opening set. I thought they drafted well. I think they're going to show promise. I think as a prelude to the year, they're going to be one of those teams that are close to that top 8, right? I think they're in that mix. So
They're looming on the edge of LCQ.
Yeah, we just found out there's 7 spots for this region, possibly more depending on how the Brawl Cup goes, but I think they're in the mix for that for sure.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I think we're going to get some stuff sorted, so we'll be right back, but we'll see you shortly, everybody.